All right guys, day 7 of building a rescue again. Now, you might notice the sound is a bit different because I have a microphone now. I've wanted one of these for a long time for doing videos and that, and it's so echoey in here and loud in here, I decided I'm going to get a microphone. So we're gonna see how it works. So if it sounds clearer now, perfect. I also have no idea how to use it. So, the goal today is to finally get the tortoise pen done. I feel like it's been forever and I haven't really got much done, but I've got a few hours before I have to pick up Raina. So I've already got this wall done. I'm gonna put that up, get this wall done here, and then I'm gonna head down to Home Depot and get some more wood and maybe start building the iguana enclosures too. I'm really hoping the microphone is working so I don't have to yell and there's not as much of an echo. So I'm gonna talk a little quieter so there's not as much of an echo. So the last wall is built. Now the challenge is it's like flat on the floor. They're hard to pick up. So I gotta pick it up off the floor and then try to shimmy it in place. There we go, so that's up. Now, I wonder if I can just, I can probably drag it. There we go. And then it's gonna go on inside like that without falling over, and the inside. I'm just gonna attach this wall, and then this is the sulcata tortoise pen, minus the door, but we'll get that put on soon. This is one of the things that's gonna really bother me. I didn't have the plywood go all the way out because I didn't wanna waste plywood. It would be an uneven amount because we got 10 feet exactly of plywood here. So otherwise I'd have to have an extra 3.5, 4 inches. So now, do I put it so that it's like this, hang on, but then out like that, so the 2x4s are even, like that, or do I put it in so the whole thing is just even like this way? So what I'm probably gonna do is have this so it's flush with this. It's just gonna look weird, but that's what I'm doing. So if you remember, I screwed the door up, but now I fixed the door, I made it shorter. Now what's really frustrating is I have basically these 2 pieces of plywood left. I was actually pretty good for waste. I measured out things pretty well that way, but this piece is 3 inches too short to fit on this piece. So I put another little stud here and I gotta cut another piece there, and it's not gonna look the way I want it to look, but at least I will have a door. So now, we just gotta rip this down because it is a little bit too wide because it's not a 2-foot door anymore. I need power. What the heck? Oh, I plugged in the wrong thing. I plugged in the wrong saw. Okay, let's do this again. I wish I had a power bar or another extension cord here. All right. 3rd time's a charm. Hey! All right. 1 done. Put you there. And we gotta cut this one too for our little 3-inch piece. There we go. All right, so those are cut. Now I just gotta put them on. And I even remembered hinges, so I can actually put the door on. So these aren't exactly the hinges I want, but theoretically, they'll work. They're just not the best. So I shaved down a little piece of plywood there, just to give a little bit of space there, because I don't want the door rubbing on this. It just makes it awkward to open. So that's just gonna give us a little bit of space. The downside is it is gonna stick up just a tiny bit, but that's okay, we can deal with that. All right, so this one goes right here. Now all I'm gonna do is put 1 in the bottom and 1 in the top, just to make sure it's gonna work. Oh, and it works. Look at that, cool. So there is our door. And the reason it's sagging down so much right now is just because there is no support down this middle wall, so the whole wall is kind of sagging out a bit. But once we get the shelving on and across, this whole thing's gonna be nice and squared up. So there's not gonna be any sagging there, and that door isn't gonna be on an angle like that. So now we have our Redfoot tortoise pen complete. We have our sulcata tortoise pen complete, other than the flooring. Now, I'm not painting anything. Yes, this wood is not gonna last the longest, but we're only gonna be in here probably 2.5, 3 years, because if the new laws come into place, we'll have to move again. But we'll see what happens. We're hoping they don't. Obviously, I gotta square it up a little bit. It's not quite square there. So now, what I need to figure out is we're gonna have shelving along here, all the way along, and it's gonna be basically a 2-foot shelf. So I need to build a structure along this that can support itself. I'm gonna have to probably do angle down to this, which I am not good with the angles. If someone is good with the angles and can help me build these, that would be awesome, because I suck with angles. But basically these have to be strong enough to hold all of the enclosures on top of them, and they're gonna be a couple stacked high of our 2-foot by 2-foot by 8-foot and whatnot, along with our tortoise tables here. But I can't put posts down to the ground because the tortoises will ram them and knock the posts out, and then everything will fall. So they have to support themselves basically on these walls while still holding enough weight. So I need to figure that one out. But that's gonna be another day's job, because now what I need to figure out is I have this space here. It's about 24 feet as well. I need to put an iguana cage, an iguana cage, an iguana cage here, and then the end here, I'm gonna do, and we've got about 5 feet out here, so it's gonna be 5 feet by almost 5 or 6 feet each. But down here is gonna be a stack of basically 5-foot by 6-foot enclosures, 1.5 feet tall, and that's gonna be for some of our tegus and whatnot. Now, it's not as much space as we had before for the tegus, but it'll do for now until we can figure out a more long-term solution for them, whether it be extending those out or just figuring something else out. But again, we're trying to fit things into a smaller space, and a 5-foot by 6-foot enclosure for the tegus are gonna be okay for now, because a lot of the tegus are out all the time anyways, getting exercise and whatnot. They're not confined to their enclosures all the time. And I wanna make sure we give the iguanas a good, 6 or 7 foot tall enclosure, at least 5, 6 feet wide as well, because they do like to move around a lot too. So now I gotta figure that out and go to the store and buy the wood to start building those. I decided that I just don't have enough time to get to the hardware store, get back here, unload the wood and that before going to pick up Raina, who, by the way, hasn't even seen this place since I got it. She came in here the one day to look at it. She's not seen this place just because things have been so busy. So that's gonna be it for today. I am very happy got these done. Again, if anybody is able to spare some time and help me figure out these angles and build the shelves in here, again, they gotta be able to hold a bunch of weight. And then I'm gonna get some measurements here and start working on that hopefully tomorrow sometime. So there is another day of actually accomplishing something. So I'm happy with that.